Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, where you come from. My name is James, and I want to make a video about something that's been dear on my mind and speak to my heart and speak to whatever's out there. And the current thing that's going through my mind and my heart that I want to speak on tonight is, what have I learned from 2019? The year of, it was a special year. It was kind of like an awakening for me. And the reason why it was kind of awakening for me, because I got a chance to see something very, when you go to a museum, it's very intriguing because you're there to learn and explore and see and just to have a good idea of what individuals accomplished. And when I went to Washington D.C. this time, and I went down there with my mom and my aunt, and just us three. Something happened to me down there, basically in a good way. And really, I got to understanding something something been broken over me. I had, basically is to have an identity. And, I don't know how to put this, but it's something when you're an African American person in this country. And given though there's a history of things that happen on just different levels, which is true. Well, one thing about it is that when I was growing up, I knew about certain things as a black man, child in America, coming up of age and having experiences, some good, some bad. It depends on different areas of wherever you live at, or wherever you educate, wherever you live, and the friends that you make, and the acquaintances that you make, and the places that you get older as you work. But one thing about it is that this time was different, because mentally I learned something from history about slavery. And one thing I learned from the people that were slavery, and the people pays up into the present day, is that it's only the thing is the physical change, but the physical change turn into emotional change. I have a slogan that came through my mind: to be black in America, in mainstream America, an African American, if you're not famous, or you're not rich, or you're not uniquely, powerful in a powerful position, you're like anybody else. Basically, you're just part of the underdog. And there's some people I learned along the way that they see you of color, they see you as visible, but when it comes to a certain segment of society, they want you to be invisible. And the only one that can make you visible is the Most High, that is visible. And sometimes it even comes around your own people, you're invisible. But in mainstream society, you're invisible. And then, growing up in an integration environment, I learned more about other cultures, which is fine. But it got to the point, like most people do, is that you almost like I can see how you think less of your culture, but be more of other people's awareness, and how you can heighten that awareness and not even know it. What do I mean by that? What you can press and not even, you can have self-hate
goes deeper. Some people do it through a joke. Some people do it through because, and that's what they really did. What comes out the mind, what out the mouth, the heart speak. Sometimes. Some people try to cover it up. Some people I've learned along the way when it comes to the human race. And that's what it is. I mean, people are, they don't want to accept that there's a difference, that there's a culture that is different among each other. I believe there are, and I'm 51 years old, and I can say this: racism, unfortunately, is always going to be around. Classism, unfortunately, is always going to be around. Because there's always going to be a generation that remind there's more people and there's less people. And where you have your opinion of people and how it reflects coming up of age, as a child to an adult, you're gonna experience some type of racism, some prejudice. In an ideal world, it would be nice that people wouldn't do that, but unfortunately, you have some people that can't adjust to their reality. And it doesn't matter if it's people that go to church who don't go to church. People in the world that's not in the world, who love the world. It's not just the world, it's cold. Some people want to use religion or spirituality and saying that they're not the bad person. But I learned along the way, you have to look deeper, because some people can be deceiving with how their actions do. And this is what I've learned along the way. Because work that's people out there work at a company and they want to be popular and they want to be liked and they can be next to the person with the power. It's the same way. Church world is the same way. It's no different than anybody else. And I notice it. We have a meeting or dress a certain way or carry a certain way. People tend to judge you. They tend to be standoffish and put a fake smile on it. And it gets kind of annoying, and sometimes it gets to the point that there was a time, I understand why some people don't want to go to church, because this don't apply to all churches, but some people are not real. They hear about God. I have been in churches where they hear about God, but they don't act as they know God. You have more people that as soon as the Bible is closed, they go back to their old self. They try to put on an air of holiness, an act of holiness, of loving, but they really don't love somebody. Because when you sit in somebody after church for 2 or 3 hours, their real self is going to be revealed. And this is what I learned along the way going to church. And I used to think, why is most people they should be thanking God and going to church and stuff like that.
and I was so naive. See, you get. I learned one thing, that you can be at home and just enjoy your family. You can have fellowship. You know, when now we had stated that you have no choice, but you're in the fellowship. And some people willing to put their life at risk, which is crazy to be to get this virus right now. You know, we just, God does give us common sense that to protect us, that we, just for a moment in time, and that we, you can have, if one or two people agree, you probably have angels with you that will praise and worship with you in the mix, which I'm pretty sure that they do, because that's part of their makeup, is to come into your presence and help you usher your praise and worship songs to the Heavenly Father. That's what they're there for. Therefore, also, and of course, give a message whenever He has to get to you. And I learned that the angels of God only give you messages to protect you, and they help worship and usher you to get to the Father. Those who are believers in Jesus' name, or Yeshua, into the right name. And it really counts because it lights up and keeps you hope. It breaks the depression. It breaks, barriers and generational curses and barriers around. Just, when you have a loving relationship with the Most High God. A lot of people don't seem to see that, but it's true. But that's the only way to keep a sound mind right now, is to focus on the Most High God, because how much He loved and sparing all of us. And those who don't know Him, He wants to get to know you. He wants you to make that choice and make that time for Him. That's what I believe what God wants us to do. And whether you believer or non-believer, especially for the non-believers, He wants to have a relationship with you. Because I know He knows us as the natural beings in this planet, that we go through our emotions, we get hungry, we get sad, we get lonely, we get angry, we get one minute we happy. God He understands all of that. So that's why He wants. And sometimes when you're lonely in this world, it can be hurtful. It can be very, very hurtful. I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's not. But the good thing is to do, then, is to stay in prayers and stay in worship. That's one thing, is to keep a sound mind. And I think that's the only way, because anything else, I don't think, would fill that void. Because anything else is just artificial. That's a fact. But anyway, get back to what I was saying. I had to learn more about myself as a person. I felt that, until my personal journey with the Most High God, I always felt like I was invisible I'm invisible to some people, but I'm visible to God, but invisible to most people. And I think that's just an individual thing. I think there's a lot of people that feel like that out there. I felt that way throughout my life. But what kept me going, what kept me strong, was the fact that God had my back, and He made His appearance to me. And he always, I learned one thing about God, is that He always picked the one, we have to say the right God. He picked through His Son. I want to be clarified that the one that sent His Son gets the unusual ones, the ones that He loved, the ones that He cherished, and watch over them like a precious jewel. Yes, there's many of you out there may not see it that way, but He does. He's so patient to wait on many of us to come to him in prayer. That's all he wants. If you don't know what to say, just say whatever's on your heart. And trust me, he's listening. Especially somebody, I think he really would listen if someone would make effort to talk to him. His ears are open. His kingdom all his kingdom is in agreement with one. And maybe taking note on how you're reaching out to him. And he's going to eventually reach back. And then if your ear is not open, he'll find someone who will send confirmation to you that he has heard your prayer. And he heard, and that's the most wonderful thing. In the time of a crisis, you need to know the Most High God. You need to know that you're loved. You need to know every human being desires that. And it's the same way it was with me. But it's something about this year, but looking back at 2019 and right now, I'm more wiser than I was. I'm more stable-minded than I was. Because when you're not level-minded, you make irrational decisions. If anything, I kind of regret I should have been more, been more like this. But everybody has their time and season and mistakes, and it's never too late. No matter what age you are, where you're at in life, as long as you have breath in your body, you can always turn it around. This is what I've learned. So, but this is what that trip showed me about me. And when I went to that, on the sites of the museums and the plantations and particularly the African American Museum was very, very unique and fascinating. And the reason why it was so unique and fascinating because there was about black people from this country that I never knew was hidden in areas and arenas in society that I've never heard of. I heard the basic, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Harriet Tubman, and different, Booker T. Washington. But it's more people than that. It's more than that. It's more that we to be a black man.
Racism faces me with insecurity people who can't adjust in time to see that I'm a black man. It just made me even more happier because even when I was going in church, you have people that have biases, particularly, and they try to hide it. And it's not the first time around people that's like that. And sometimes it will hurt sometimes, but sometimes it almost got me bitter. But one thing I know about it, but at the same time, I kind of feel bad for them, the ones who have the inner prejudice towards me, because God put me in something that I didn't have no say so when I came into the room. I learned as a black man that we're not the earth. We're the civilizations of the earth. We're creativity. And as a black man, I could say that, and I'm proud of myself, and not proud that I gotta be better than other people or think I'm at a different dimension than other people. But being proud to be a black man because you need to have some pride. You have pride because America as a whole needs people of color like myself only when it's convenience, only when it's necessary, only when we feel like it. That's what I've always seen most of my life. You have a segment of society that just see you as entertainment. But
And unfortunately, a lot of black people are bought into that. That's from this country. But there's a segment of us who see the greater things that's in us. That there's something great that God is. This is the time to pull it out. No matter how much oppression that this country, of one of the many places that they hold against me as a black man on this planet, it's all going to one day crumble. And what they don't know, what you say is invisible, will be visible either way, because the Most High will make it visible. There is the chains of economics in every other arena will be turned around. See, as a black man in this country, I know the reality. I know what racism is. I know how it comes in different forms. I see how it's aggressive. I see how it smiles. I see how it winks. I see how it is coded. I see when you live in this country, you get this. You get wise up in wisdom, and then you get around other people who teach you how to get through the trials of this life. And when I came back from Washington D.C, I come from a strong people. As people that, not just another people, not the people that what the other some nationalities don't really want to reverence and don't want to respect, and they have a perception, the association of black people, and they want to put you in the mold because you're part of that people that come from the dark continent. And there used to be something about that they would just make you feel like you just come from a land of wild animals, so you have to have a wild mindset, and you're low, and your IQ was low. That was the perception. That was the association. But no one ever looked deeper. That when you go to if you would go to the continent, and any people that look like myself, they're not just a bunch of poor invalid people running around naked and just live having the mind of an animal. The real animals is the people who are the animals, who think that the people like that are animals, is the animals that try to go over there and be superior to them. They try to treat someone inferior to them, and based on a hidden agenda, a hidden inner prejudice, in which we have in some places in the world, that we have a lot of people with the inner prejudice, and then we try to then that hidden prejudice tries to, with most, try to be swindled because they want to remain on the top. And with these other nationalities that try to pattern after the main ones who have done this, if you fall in the press of people because of the income, because of what they standard of, because you presume that these people have no creativity, you assume that they don't have a God that backs them up, you assume that they don't, then you are sadly mistaken. Because every history and every time, it looked like the oppressor won, but in the end, the Most High, God, maker of heaven, earth, and the universe, always stood on the opposite side. And since black people, of all people of my pet melanin skin, have been at the bottom and been at the joke of everybody, it's coming back to the top. And a lot of people don't want to realize that. Christianity don't want to acknowledge that. I don't think Islam wants to know, and none of the religions want to acknowledge that. You see, What you put invisible will be visible. When you read the book of Revelation, read the one, is the book of Revelation. Look at, describe who he is. And he has a people that is similar to him. The ones come back to the earth one day. Not the one that they paint to you on Easter. Not the blonde hair, blue eye, stringy hair guy. Then we know it models after a certain man that the Pope made. That's not the man. But the man society wanted to be a man. But it's not the man who risked it all, who sacrificed. It's not the man that's coming one day to settle the score in the earth. We are the ones. The ones that you have put your mouth to. The ones you thought you were superior to. Not what you say. You didn't say this, but you sure displayed it. It's coming. And that's the greatest fear when it comes to the million people of the planet. They fear you because they know their time is ending. I heard this is the truth. And you see, I'm happy because, like my ancestors, who was in physical bondage, I was in mental bondage. And the only one that set me free is the Most High, to give me my spiritual identity. Now I have my natural identity in Him. And there are some African Americans, blacks, that haven't hit that level yet. They still in bondage and don't even know it. That was what was beautiful about 2019. When you find yourself, and you find yourself in your people, you find worth in your people. This is what I'm learning. I had to take some time out, away from church, away from stuff, and it was a good time to find out. I had to, and I like being around other people. Don't get me wrong. I ain't got nothing against nobody. But there comes a point in time you got to go back around and learn more about your people. When you're a black American, and I know that it could be, sometimes some of us can be negative. Some of us can be irrationally ignorant. Some of us can. But when you get to a certain level, you will understand why some of us is like that way. Because some of the people who are rational, who are ignorant, don't even know who they are. They don't know where they're going. They think that they know. And they want to be equal, but some people who you're trying to be equal with don't really think of you equal behind your back. There are some people like that. They want your money, but they don't find you equal. They want your entertainment, but they'll find you equal. African Americans have been like that. It's like some of the other people with other nationalities. You're only there in mainstream society when mainstream, the elite, I would say white people, who you're visible to them on what you are, but most of the time you will be invisible. When you feel like they approve of. I learned about codes. Being around my own people had brought me to a certain way of thinking. And I didn't just listen to anybody. I had to go back and find out who was the smartest in my melanated community, the black community. I had to learn. It took a journey to go on YouTube to find out who is the smartest, who speaks with sense, who speaks like a king, who speaks the kingdom, the spiritual kingdom. And the Most High showed me along the way who to listen to, who not to listen to. Sometimes it's good to get to hear your own and know your own people, so you don't get caught up. And in the same time, you don't want to be like the mainstream, wanting to be another culture and not liking your own skin. Oh yes, it can get that way. I can understand that one. I can understand it now. Because you can be around other cultures and not love yourself. How is that possible, James? Let me tell you how it's possible. TV programming to you, when your work as programming to you, when your education go back to you, and mainly the holidays you celebrate is the kicker that you have to be around the ones who subjugate you to the racism, the prejudice, and you're bound. You're bound. Every black man and woman out. Sometimes no matter how much money you get, how much education you have, you're bound into that mainstream society. You're bound going to suburb. You're bound, and you're free. You're not free until the Most High God set you free, spiritually set you free, and give you the confidence to be comfortable in your skin. It's the Most High. So you're not the curse of the earth. You're not the least of the least. You're not the least intelligent. It's the Most High. So you are chosen. And He gives some Gentiles, which we know as people I've seen on social media. Some were white, confirming this. White people and other people saying that the blacks are the chosen. And they open the scriptures. Oh yeah, they go less because they know the truth. And they try to tell the other friends and family, but the reality hasn't hit them yet. But oh, it's going to hit them. Because every perception and everything and those people out there that have that perception and that prejudice about different ethnic groups of people. This race thing, this human race thing has always been like that. We always had a segment of the lighter you are, the darker you are, the less than you are. That's just moved about on every continent and portrayed to every people to the point that it isolated the people who have melanin in their skin, dark melanin in their skin. I've seen it all over the world just by the internet. I've seen it in real time, real places, seen it the other side. Not what mainstream news and TV don't show you. I've seen it for myself. It changed my whole outlook on life, and it showed that the kinship, the bond, because they was going through something, and even in their own language, just because they had the same complexion of us, and same features and same skin, and people of the mainstream of that country and mainstream of that era thought that we don't have no problems with them, but we just keep them off to themselves. And in every sector of society, they were impoverished. And they had the same, they was in denial, just like they are here in certain groups here in America. They're in denial because, like, if I'm not going through it, it meant apparently it's some kind of delusion that you're going through it. But you can't base on what my experiences is. And there was a time racism can really mentally down. But what kept me strong as a black man in America, I give all the credit to the Most High. I don't think I could have made it. There were days I didn't want to make it. I didn't know until until he revealed my true identity. I got a spiritual identity, but I actually have a heritage. And it's not the heritage that what mainstream tell me about. Oh, we all come from that big old beautiful continent that everybody's trying to get over there and it's to zap its resources. And about 50, 60 years ago, they said they used to tell people in the melon skin, the black people in America, why don't you go back to Africa? Why don't you go back to Africa? And some black people have took it up and say, I think I will go back to Africa. If I get away from this racial oppression and had to walk on eggshells and stuff like that. I've seen some black people do it. I don't blame them whatsoever. And I found myself, I understand. Because this thing with racism, you subjugate, you feel the ancestors of you. You can't really be who you really naturally meant to be, and you can't express the way you naturally can't really express because you always got to put on an air. You always got to seem like you got to be it's uncomfortable. Oh, I'm telling what I've noticed and I personally experience it. And no matter if you're a good person and you can be a law-abiding person, but the matter of the fact is, you don't matter if you're law-abiding, but the fact is that you have melanin in your skin messes with the masses of people who see you as a melanin black man or woman. In the projection that they do. They're saying you're greater at the great higher times. They tell mainstream, and we're one of the nationalities in this country that they put everything on. Saying that we just with the recent thing I heard it with the coronavirus. It enrages me to say, how in the world can you sit up there and take a demographic of people and saying that they are going to most likely die because they don't neglect the health, and most human beings neglect the health not because of the color of their skin, but because they don't have the access to insurance and access to certain things. But you see, they always got to make it racially, and they do it so subtly in the medical community, and they discriminate against you. They don't. When we got black dogs and black, that don't mean that. They tell them that just to bully them in their certificate. That's how I feel about it. Then, the neighborhoods you live in. You can live in any neighborhood you want to live in if you got the money and the credit. But in America, and I can recall this, I had two vehicles. I could go out to my second vehicle without someone calling the cops on me when I was taking some stuff out of a cop, without a cop stop me and ask me, was this my vehicle? This happened here in the 21st century. Racism haven't stopped. It's just weaning itself on through. We thought you did it. Never had this experience before. And never had this experience down here. But when I was standing up north in the other part of Columbus, someone called the cops on me. And I didn't do anything. Went out there for a long time. And I can't really express how frustrating that is. To get called on something, and it's almost like you gotta live by a code. It ain't easy being a black person in America, whether you're a child, a teenager, a baby, to an elderly adult, until the day you leave this God-forsaken earth. And yet, it may sound free, but technically you really ain't free. You might be free for a moment, but tyranny's coming for a day, because we live in a society that not only just want to destroy the poor of every other race, but starts always with the black race. They always want to destroy it. We're the first ones on the line to destroy it. We were the first ones on the line to put in prison. You're the first one on the line in the middle of a community. We're the first ones on the line for this stuff. First on the lines to make homeless and jobless. First on the line, take the benefits away. First on the line, break these people. First on the line, when they prosper, whatever, break them again. Break up their neighborhoods. Break up their family. They always target blacks. One of the human beings that are most targeted in the whole world. And I understand that there's other people saying, well, there's other people that have gone through, but no group of people have gone through what black people in this country have gone through. From the east to the west to the north to the south of the United States and any time zone in between, they have never been through nothing like this. Oh, I got something to say. About this. I've been wanting to say. I had all this pent up, but I'm letting it all. I'm getting a chance to really express how I feel. It's about that time. Racism has stressed me out. Sometimes I wish I could go to. Sometimes a part of me, I wish I could join some of the people who go to the continent. If I go around some melanated people that got some common sense and some worth, if I go someplace and I have to worry about the color of my skin get pulled over, oh, that would be something. That's being free. But you constantly, as long as you're an African American in this country, that's going to come across at some point in your mind. If you raised in the suburbs and your mom and dad's telling you some fantasy, they're lying. I lived in the suburbs, been around white folk and black folk that try to be white. And they think it's everything hunky-dory. But them same black folks that try to be white, the same white people talk about them like a dog. But they're the good blacks. See, you don't understand. Oh, you don't understand America. And there's nothing wrong with living someplace nice, but at the same time, you got to keep it real. Keep it real with yourself. You know, even when I was recalling when I went to church. I went to Catholic church when I was young, and same Catholic church my mom went to. And you know, it's funny when I lived in the city, people went to school, they would acknowledge me. But when you get around certain white people in the suburbs that they see you in the hallway, but they see you around their friends, they act like they don't know you because they say, "Oh, you know that black person? I've seen this. I've seen you too much." And you know what? I've seen this. Just the kind of phonies that we're seeing. It is the kind of, and then it's almost like they don't know how to talk. You got someone that never really been around black people, how to express themselves to you. This is what this is a lady's heart and mind. So yeah, racism is real, but it's not. Prejudice is real. Always coming, somebody calling you the N-word, or you seeing some guys walk around watch the good and the jewelry in the back of the truck. That's not. Or someone saying KKK, white supremacy on the back like that. No, that's your radical ones. But the mean ones, you need to watch. At least you know where they come from. It's the sneaky ones. It's the ones I went to church with. The ones I went to school with. You're visible, then you're visible to them until you're visible. That's my slogan I'm saying. And that's mainstream society with some white people.
You're visible till they decide to make you visible. It's like almost like they kind of see you the good black or the bad black. But either you're a good black person or you're a bad black, but you're a black person because you're melanated. That's reality. That is reality. And the only way in what black people have to learn as black people, love yourself. See each other as human. Good or bad, right or wrong. Because mainstream society don't want you. They'll have one of you out there, but as far as they're going to go, you get two or three black families out there, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They'll shut that stuff down. And white, the vast majority of white people will kind of, they have certain ways of making really hard connections. Now, other people that won't have that problem, they can help them too. They'll help them some type of way. So some things ain't not always equal. But that's all right. But I'm learning this life, it's all right. Because when you belong to the Most High, He'll get you through them doors. And then it will mystify how they got you through the doors. So there is hope. We live in this crazy world. Prejudice. It's some because of that melanated skin. It's funny how they think that the blacks in some cultures are the bottom of the pit. Little that they know that if they would have read the Bible, if they would look at the book of Revelation and they decide that Christ that stands, they describe him as wool hair. They describe his feet as dark brass skin. That's dark gold, darker than black. But yet you have some of these nations that can judge the least of the black races that are black, inferior, detestable, ignorant, ravishingly, animals. I don't want to be part of that. Don't put that in my bloodline. That's a different kind of people. You got people like that. Just telling you, there's some people like that. Not all, but some. That's reality. But I'm telling you, let it be known on the record, I have hit the truth, and I'm proud to be a black man. And if I come back in the next life, I'll be a black man again. That's for sure. And I'm going to die, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my skin. I'm proud of my culture. And for all, if I could go back and tell all those people that they did feel comfortable, so they had to put it in a jokingly way. I guess I love dark meat, because I'm melanated. I guess I am, because I'm blessed. I guess I am. I ain't got to worry about the sun burning me up. I guess I'm blessed. Blessed because we have a people that the Bible, we was the first people that walked in the Bible. The first people on civilization. We are blessed people. This is what I found out. Do you know what it means to find something like that out? Do you know what it means? But some black people don't know it yet. Wait till they find out. You more than just a slave. You more than what they thought. It's big. It's big. You are the original people of the planet. You are the original people. You His beloved. You His beloved. And He's coming. And guess what? We are coming out of it. And the same people who oppressed us
and keep putting their foot on us, who's trying to kill us all, oppress us in every phase of fashion, is turning back around on them. And any of these nations are joining with them to oppress us, it's going to come back on them. So that's the warning. So it's good not to be against black people right now, because we're going back to something that the white man can't take away. He can't manipulate it away no more. You can manipulate certain things, but when the black man gets aligned with the Most High, he gets his spiritual right, he gets his mind right. All the foolish things in this world is irrelevant. My name is James. I have woken. Till next time, be blessed.